Another inflation gauge points to signs of easing prices. Wholesale prices slowed to 2.3% last month compared to a year earlier. That's below the annual increase in March. The Producer Price Index released Thursday reflects prices charged by manufacturers. It can be an early sign of how much more consumers will have to pay. Best Buy announced it's rolling out new versions of its membership program as it prepares for a drop in demand. Consumers are buying fewer electronics as they pay more for food and other essentials. At the end of June, Best Buy will offer low-priced membership options called My Best Buy and My Best Buy Plus. Depending on your tier, benefits include free shipping, tech support, and access to exclusive sales. The real estate marketplace Zillow warns home buying costs will soar if the U.S. defaults on its debt. According to Zillow projections, mortgage rates could rise above 8%. That means the mortgage payment on a typical home would be 22% higher by September. Zillow experts say 8% rates would freeze home sales. Without intervention, the government could default on its debt as early as June 1st.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls. Partly cloudy skies expected tonight and your Friday morning. It's going to be another humid start. Morning temperatures in the lower 70s. Afternoon highs, the heat is on, will be about 5 degrees above normal. But that 94 degrees factor in that humidity. It's going to be feeling more like 96 to 97. So please mind that heat index for the afternoon time frame. Afternoon showers and storms will be developing after 2 p.m. So please stay vigilant. Do keep your eye to the sky. And looking at some of those heat index values, just how hot it will be feeling on your skin when you include the humidity. More like a 94 degrees in LaBelle, more like the upper 80s for Moorhaven alongside Clewiston. 7-day forecast showing off over the weekend. Afternoon and evening storms in the mix will maintain that 40% storm chance heading into your Mother's Day. So if you want to take mom out, the earlier in the day, the better, with the potential for those developing storms in the afternoon. That potential continuing into your Monday.
The past few years highlighted the growing need for child mental health resources within schools.
We're aware that 50% of adolescents today will deal with a mental health crisis at some point in their lives, and we have a commitment to supporting that.
It's why Walgreens is partnering with Mental Health America to provide free mental health screening tools and other educational materials to more than 800 schools across the country. Things like fact sheets, how to identify potential symptoms, and where to get help.
Also, for their parents, think about warning signs, students in crisis, how to better connect them to community services, as well as for their teachers, for administrators and educators, things that they can put up in the hallways, resources and communities that they can direct their students to.
She says last year's back-to-school campaign reached more than 15 million people. This toolkit will be available in August at mhanational.org. In the meantime, those who want to learn more can visit walgreens.com/mentalhealth.
Inflation is staying high, but easing some. Prices are currently up nearly 5% from a year ago. New numbers out this week show airline fares and hotel prices are down some after 4 straight months of increases. Grocery prices are also down for the second straight month. Gas prices are one thing that increased. One way some people are hacking inflation is using AARP benefits, and they're doing it at a younger age than you may realize.
I write about deals every day on my travel blog, and when I learned that AARP had some amazing travel deals and you could join under 50, I was like, this is a no-brainer. And I thought putting it on TikTok was just, I thought it was potentially just going to be a rocket ship.
He's been an AARP member since he was 34 years old.
I've easily saved into the 4 figures, I would say. I mean, well over $1,000, probably $2-3 grand. I haven't sat down and tallied it all up, but it's been a few $1,000s.
Ways he says he beats inflation with his benefits include using the discount on one-way car rentals instead of taking a ride share or parking at the airport. He also buys gift cards that are discounted. There are also gas discounts available.
Everything from your airline to your hotel to your rental car, entertainment. People like concerts, there's a great discount so that you can get an extra ticket and bring 5 people to the concert instead of 4.
AARP has a contest going on now where you can win $50,000 by showing how you're using your benefits to beat inflation. May 29th is the deadline to apply at the website on your screen.
Neighbors are shocked tonight after a man and former gymnastics coach living in Punta Gorda is arrested on sexual assault charges on children as young as 4.
It's really a shame to hear what is going on. It's hard to believe.
What law enforcement wants you to know as they continue this multi-state investigation.
Plus, a project in Lee County could relieve some of the traffic issues along Alico Road going to Lehigh Acres. But it's going to be a long time. We might all be driving different cars by the time it's open. We'll take a look.
And as the pandemic-era immigration policy gets lifted in just 2 hours, we have how federal officials plan to handle the influx of migrants and go in depth on the impacts right here in Southwest Florida. As Fox 4 News at 10 starts now.
Live from Southwest Florida, this is Fox 4 News at 10.
And we open up with breaking news tonight out of Charlotte County, where the sheriff's office says a civilian jail clerk is now facing charges for having an inappropriate relationship with an inmate.
Yeah, so the sheriff's office says staff at the county jail noticed unusual behavior from jail laundry clerk Amy Dice, saying she tried to contact an inmate while dropping off laundry. Well, that inmate was set to be transferred to a state prison facility the next day, but deputies say staff intercepted the laundry bag, found a love note and a candy.
And the jail clerk admitted to the relationship, arrested for sexual misconduct and introduction of contraband.
Our other top story tonight, law enforcement in Michigan reaching out to Charlotte County to arrest a gymnastics coach today accused of sexually assaulting children, some as young as 4 years old. Thank you for watching Fox 4 News at 10. I'm Nadine Yanis.
I'm Chris Searle, and this centers around 49-year-old Shannon Guy, now living in Punta Gorda. But the allegations come from Michigan in Grand Rapids. And authorities from that state say he moved out of Michigan in 2010, and he's accused of sexually assaulting 5 children, ranging in age from 4 to 14. Michigan investigators say 2 of them were gymnastics students of his, the alleged abuse happening between 2006 and 2008.
And although the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office say at this point there are no confirmed cases of abuse here in Southwest Florida, Michigan authorities say there could potentially be more victims out there.
We do have information to believe us he's lived in other states other than Michigan and Florida, possibly employed in similar roles at gymnastic facilities. If anyone out there would be potentially impacted by some of the trauma like this, we just ask them to come forward.
Deputies back in Kent County, Michigan say Guy has lived in several states since moving from that state, including California, Texas, Washington, and now Florida. He is awaiting extradition back to Michigan, where he's going to face 13 different charges. Fox 4 is following through on the Sandy wildfire, still burning at Big Cypress National Preserve tonight. The fire is now more than 11,000 acres, but it is 30% contained, so that is better than a couple of days ago. Fire crews say they've started phase 2 of the evacuation plan, which means people with pre-existing conditions are encouraged to leave the area. They say 1 home is already evacuated. Firefighters say lightning also sparked the fire nearly 2 weeks ago. They say that they're hopeful to have it fully contained by next Thursday.
Yeah, and we've been tracking this fire for the last few days. We also know we've been hoping for some more rain, but it's been pretty dry and hot outside, Chris.
Yeah, that record heat you saw in some of our towns here in Southwest Florida, that hit today. As we bring in Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls.
And one thing we are monitoring closely, where that smoke is headed to where it could possibly impact that commute. So if you are in southern Collier County, specifically right along 41 heading down to Everglades City, you might be noticing more and more of it, especially as you head toward that fire location in Big Cypress. So that's going to be our biggest concern as we continue to monitor this fire. Again, now greater than 11,000 acres, thankfully, though now 30% contained, and firefighters continue to get it more and more under control. But as of right now, it is burning in the Big Cypress National Forest. Here's a perimeter of that fire. You can faintly see that red outline right there just to the north of 41, but it could very well burn farther southward. Basically, firefighters telling us that they might be using 41 at some point as a fire line. So we will be monitoring that closely. Some good things that help the firefighters overnight: higher humidity as well as lighter winds. So good news for our crews as they continue to work to get that fire under control. Meanwhile, storm chances going up heading into tomorrow. We'll dive deeper into when you could see some rainfall coming up next.
All right, Katie, thank you. Well, let's take you to Alico Road. It can be a real time saver, especially when turning off I-75 to reach Tamiami Trail to get from Fort Myers to Cape Coral. But more cars use Alico Road east of I-75 now as well.
And Lee County is trying to really solve this to be able to add lanes to Alico Road to reach Green Meadow, which is down here because Alico then heads this way. And this is all going south and east of RSW, Southwest Florida International Airport. And here's the end game with this, because Green Meadow right now is just a 2-lane road goes all the way up to State Road 82 in Sunshine. But the big project here is to have it now go like this through this area. But it's going to take a few years to do this. Fox 4's Brianna Brownlee is live from where phase 1 of this, just on Alico, will start up. It's more than a $100 million project. The idea tonight is to get ideas from people to help them get from I-75 to Lehigh Acres easier.
Yes, as Lee County continues to grow, this stretch of road seems like it cannot keep up. Now, we are along Alico Road, which isn't too far from the intersection of Airport Hall Road, just south of the airport. Now, this area is the start of phase 1, which will widen the roads, taking it from 2 lanes to 4. When I was speaking with the county today, they were explaining to me how they hope this is not only an easier commute, but it will make it safer. A well-known backway taking drivers from a highway to Lehigh with frequent tight traffic. As Alico Road is another place where cars and trucks get tied up.
I mean, there's not much you can do about the traffic that's going up and down Alico.
Robert Fickelson lives nearby and drives this stretch all the time, which means watching out for other cars all the time.
We're hoping to get some relief to some of the congestion throughout the county and provide a quicker way for people to get to the interstate and to get to the south.
The county plans to do this with the Alico Road Connector Study Project, 3 phases to build up Green Meadow Road all the way to Sunshine Boulevard in the heart of Lehigh Acres.
Traffic conditions throughout the county are obviously going up. There's been a lot of development that's happening.
And phase 1 starts here, along Alico Road at Airport Hall Road, going east to Green Meadow, and should be done by late 2026, so more than 3 years.
Daniels Parkway is a congested roadway that this project will provide direct relief to.
Big development in Lee County and Alico Road is major thoroughfares.
Phase 2 will take Meadow Road up to State Road 82, but that's still many years off.
This is going to provide an alternate route for all the homes that are being built in Lehigh Acres to get south and get to I-75. So it's a very important traffic artery.
Now, we have a long ways to go until this project is complete. The county is expecting for phase 1 to be complete at the end of 2026. As for the whole project, not till 2028. Now, if you need a full breakdown of this project, make sure you head over to fox4now.com. In Lee County, Brianna Brownlee, Fox 4.
As Title 42 ends at midnight, we're already seeing a surge at the U.S.-Mexico border. The pandemic-era policy allowed federal officials to expel migrants quickly. And although it's getting lifted, the Biden administration is launching a new deportation program. Family expedited removal management is designed as an alternative to detention. And this will track migrant families in the U.S. as they go through an expedited deportation process. According to multiple sources familiar with the plan, families must stay under home confinement as long as they're in the U.S. The head of the household must wear an ankle bracelet. They can still claim asylum and go through the process if they qualify. But federal officials say with 10,000 migrants expected at the border each day, there needs to be a permanent change, a sentiment leaders along the border seem to agree with.
The fundamental reason why we have a challenge at our border, and we've had this challenge many a time before, is because we are working within the constraints of a fundamentally broken immigration system.
We all know that the immigration process is broken and it needs to be fixed. There is no end game. In a community like El Paso or anywhere in the Rio Grande Valley,
the Republican majority U.S. House passed a sweeping border security bill today, 219-213 party lines, and that would restart the construction on the border wall with more money for agents and also new restrictions on people seeking asylum. The bill is not expected to get past a 50-50 Senate, though, and President Biden has already threatened to veto it.
And Fox 4 is following through for you on the impacts these immigration changes, both at the federal and state level, will have on undocumented families right here in Southwest Florida. Now, tonight, I spoke with the president of the Haitian American Community Coalition of Southwest Florida, Beatrice Jaquette Castor, who says right now there are 25,000 Haitians in Southwest Florida alone. And she says that number is growing as so many are leaving Haiti filled with fraud, political turmoil, and violence. She says that they're also coming here under Biden's humanitarian grant program. This allows for easier processing for those from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. And she says Title 42 will increase the number here.
We are expecting that a large crowd is going to be out because it's just not safe in Haiti. And right now, we also have a lot of people that have come in under the Biden program, which is the humanitarian parole program. So that have
Heritage Month for the Haiti community right here in Southwest Florida. That's actually happening this Saturday. At 11 p.m. at the Rock Church in Fort Myers, there'll be food celebrations, even health screenings for those within the Haitian community, migrant or not, just to get that basic health care. Well, coming up here in the next half hour, a jury is seated in the trial for the man accused of killing a Cape Coral babysitter and an 11-year-old girl.
How soon opening statements will start in the trial for Joseph Zeiler.
But first, we conclude our community conversation on fentanyl tonight. A look at what lawmakers are doing to combat the #1 killer of 18 to 45-year-olds right here in Florida. That coming up next.
The overdose death numbers are staggering.
Fentanyl is such a scourge right now.
I am extremely blessed to even be alive.
Even as the community tries to fight back,
Led to fentanyl.
The temptation is there every day.
now, with Florida lawmakers just wrapping up this year's legislative session,
we need to increase penalties for fentanyl dealers.
What is planned? What can be done?
We're going to destroy their business model and their lifestyle.
On the front lines of fentanyl. It's a battle being fought in every community in America.
There's no demographic that's free from this deadly fentanyl epidemic.
And the search for solutions, Fox 4 Investigates is speaking with recovery specialists on the front lines of fentanyl, as well as state and federal leaders about what's being done to stop the scourge of fentanyl on our streets.
No matter what it is they're doing, what they think they're doing, there's fentanyl in all of it.
During his State of the State address, Governor Ron DeSantis called for stiffer penalties for fentanyl traffickers.
We need to increase penalties for fentanyl dealers, especially those who target our children. And to do that, we must treat them like the murderers that they are.
And soon, the justice system will treat fentanyl dealers just like murderers. The state legislature passed several bills to battle the fentanyl epidemic. One would allow drug dealers and traffickers to be charged with first-degree murder if investigators consider the fentanyl to be the cause of death. Another bill would legalize fentanyl test strips, which under current law are considered drug paraphernalia. Lawmakers believe these bills will help save lives.
Fentanyl test strips
don't make people do drugs. They don't stop people from doing drugs. They stop people from dying. And that's the goal.
I do think they shouldn't be criminalized. Any tool that can help someone reduce their risk of dying shouldn't be made illegal.
Dr. Eric Collins is an addiction psychiatrist and the chief medical officer at Recovery Education, an online learning platform to help parents whose children may have fallen under the grips of addiction. He says the educational campaigns that many of us saw in school.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Aren't successful.
Those warnings don't really stop people from trying things. I wish they did.
On the national level, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham has proposed legislation that would label Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, which would allow the Treasury Department to ban financial transactions and freeze assets.
We're going to unleash the fury and might of the United States against these cartels. We're going to destroy their business model and their lifestyle, because our national security and the security of the United States as a whole depends on us taking decisive action.
The state of Florida received more than $200 million from a settlement with some of the largest makers of opioids. Governor DeSantis announced plans to establish an Office of Opioid Recovery and expand a statewide pilot program to help people break the grips of addiction. Throughout this important conversation, we can't forget how many people are dying.
That is because fentanyl, as we have shown over the past 3 nights, is in so many places, and that's why live right now on fox4now.com and on our mobile app, we've posted links to resources.
With Shari Armstrong, I'm Ryan Kruger. Fox 4 Investigates.
And we keep talking about just how hot it is out there, but we talk about the trends with it too, because it's about every month, April, March, February, they've all been hot, almost like top 5, top 10 we've seen on record.
Yeah, and if you are going about and you're like, man, this has been a hot 2023, you are absolutely right. As we bring in certified meteorologist Katie Walls. And Katie, I always think of your little calendars that have the plus 5 degrees, and it really has been above average for every month so far in 2023.
Yes, and we should have that tonight for Fox 4 News at 11.
All right,
but
very good.
You bring up a great point, because it has been so abnormally hot, and as a matter of fact, today setting records. So today we tied that record, 95 degrees in Fort Myers, 95, 93, the new record in Naples. Punta Gorda, we hit 94. Not quite record territory, but it certainly felt it when you factored in that humidity. Live look outside right now. Conditions nice and quiet for those of you heading out. Here we are from the Bayfront Inn, enjoying a partly cloudy sky. And whether you're in Naples, where we set those records today, or in Fort Myers, where we set more records today, we are expecting a quiet overnight time frame. Temperatures right now in Fort Myers, 83 degrees. That dew point's in the mid-60s, which is typical for this time of year, but it is feeling more like 85 because of it. So we do have a little bit of a heat index even this late at night. Winds currently out of the east around 10 miles per hour. So for tomorrow morning, we'll have a mostly cloudy start. Muggy conditions. We'll kick things off around 72 degrees up to 79 degrees, just shy of 80 by 9 a.m. By lunchtime, we're just shy of 90. Heading into the afternoon, there you go. Those scattered showers and storms will begin to develop. Basically after 2 p.m., you want to make sure you have that rain gear close by with those developing showers and storms. Meanwhile, for tonight, we have this dissolving cold front overhead, and it didn't produce much in the way of lift that we were anticipating, so those showers and storms stayed off toward our north, so that made for a nice quiet evening, albeit on the hot side. As for tomorrow morning, though, will be partly to mostly cloudy, I should say. Heading into the afternoon, there we go, mostly sunny, and then the heat, the humidity will help to fuel those showers and storms. So from 2 o'clock onward tomorrow, you want to make sure you have that rain gear close. So those showers and storms, they will be on the scattered side at times, a bit robust. The biggest threats will be heavy downpours, frequent lightning in the storms that do develop. Not all of us will be affected, but with those easterly winds, that will force the concentration closer to the coastline, right along I-75 and right along 41. So that's where I'm expecting most of the action as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening. Same story looking ahead to your Saturday. Saturday is going to be a quiet start. If you want to go to the beach, go in the morning, because the afternoon will feature those developing showers and storms once again. So we're more or less kicking into a classic rainy season pattern. We're dry in the morning, but after 2 p.m., you just want to make sure that you have that rain gear close just in case. For tonight, we're partly cloudy. It's going to be humid. 72 degrees is where we'll start off the day, just a 20% rain chance overnight. And then for tomorrow, we'll head up toward 94 degrees. Factor in that humidity. It's going to be feeling more like 96 to 97. The heat will be on, but some of us will be cooled down by developing showers and storms throughout the afternoon into the evening. Same story heading into the holiday weekend. For your Mother's Day, if you want to take mom out outside, you want to do it in the morning because the afternoon will feature those developing showers and storms. Same story as we head into the start of next week.
Thank you, Katie. And as we all recognize Teacher Appreciation Week, Fox 4 was there for some special moments in the Lee County School District. The heartfelt message students shared with their teachers.
Well, it is Teacher Appreciation Week, and the graduating senior class from the Lee County School District is doing something really special to say thank you tonight.
They're writing letters to teachers who've made a real impact positively on their life. Fox 4's Alexander Ronhell got to see some of the letters get delivered by the superintendent, Christopher Bernier.
A letter delivery like no other.
Mr. Olson, I'm writing to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation.
From a former student, Mr. Mark Olson remembers very well.
I want to highlight your exceptional qualities of care, patience, and respect.
I know exactly what this is. Wow.
But what he didn't know was the major impact he would have on her for years to come.
I often tried to think of happy moments in my life, and I came to realize that some of the happiest moments date back to being a student in your class.
Olson began teaching at Calusa Elementary School 21 years ago.
I came down here on a whim, and she had set up for me 6 different interviews at different schools around here, and this was the 3rd one that I was at. And I came in and I was just in shock, and I said, okay, this is the spot I want to go and start my career.
He moved here from Michigan and hasn't looked back.
Motivation, I guess you can say, is just knowing that, you know, some of these kids are going to remember me later on down the line, and I maybe made a difference for them.
A difference so apparent.
I will always be grateful for the impact you had on my life and for the memories that have stayed long with me after I left your classroom.
In the lives of his students.
Today is kind of a good proof that I did for at least one person.
And proof that it's never too late to say, thank you, Mr. Olson. Reporting in Cape Coral, Alexandra Rangel, Fox 4.
You know, and sometimes our teachers don't hear thank you enough. So really, thank you from all of us here at Fox 4 as well.
Definitely. As the COVID-19 public health emergency officially comes to an end, pandemic-era restrictions also getting lifted.
Yeah, why Collier County tourism leaders are hopeful that this will bring more visitors to Southwest Florida. And the term they use, Chris, cautious optimism.
Also, the back and forth over a reservoir project that also impacts Hendry County is also landing in court. Why the construction company involved says it got fired wrongfully.
After more than 33 years, the trial for the man charged with killing a Cape Coral babysitter and an 11-year-old girl is set to finally start next week with the jury seated.
Why jury selection for Joseph Zeiler's case took some time, though, as Fox 4 News at 10 continues.
Live from Southwest Florida, this is Fox 4 News at 10.
A jury is seated in the trial of the man accused of killing a Cape Coral babysitter and also an 11-year-old girl. This was 33 years ago. Now, opening statements for Joseph Zeiler's trial on those two killings is set to start on Tuesday.
Yeah, we have been following every step of this case this week. Fox 4's Caitlin Knapp now explains why that jury selection process took a little bit of time.
This case is expected to last about 2 to 3 weeks, and when it's time to decide if Zeiler is guilty or not guilty, that could happen on a Friday. But if it doesn't happen on a Friday and goes past that, the court may decide to bring in the jury back on a Saturday, something you don't see very often.
Is that the panel you are selecting in consultation with your attorneys?
Yes.
One of very few words spoken on Thursday by Zeiler, the man accused of killing 32-year-old Lisa Story and 11-year-old Robin Cornell. In court on Thursday, Zeiler faced now 12 jurors who will listen to 2 to 3 weeks of witnesses and experts. Once that's done, they will decide his fate. And if they can't in one day, they will be separated overnight. But because this could go into a weekend, there's a chance the court will bring them in on a Saturday to continue deliberations, though that's not set in stone. What is, however, opening statements starting on Tuesday morning. One defense attorney for Zeiler says that he may choose to take the stand and testify, which is his constitutional right. Again, opening statements do start on Tuesday morning, and Fox 4 will bring you the latest from inside the Lee County Courthouse. But for now, reporting inside the Lee County Courthouse, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
Well, new details tonight after a tow truck crashed into a home on Southwest Chiquita Boulevard in Cape Coral yesterday. That's when we showed you this incredible video of that tow truck crashing. The driver of that truck now tells us he's out of the hospital and recovering at home. He says he had a seizure while he was driving. It was a medical emergency and just simply lost control of that truck. He also told us that he has been in contact with the homeowners who are now displaced as a result of that damage.
Fort Myers High School went under a brief lockdown this morning after finding evidence of a break into the science wing at the school. District leaders say the alarm system at Fort Myers High School was not activated last night, so out of caution, the school started the lockdown to ensure there was no suspect inside in the building. Officials say the building is now safe and students were never in danger.
Well, Fort Myers police say they now have 4 people in custody following a shooting that injured one man near Edison Avenue and Paldo Street yesterday afternoon. This actually shut down traffic for a few hours. Police say they found Ashanti Powell, Thomas Clark, Anthony Abrams, and Antoine Howard at a home nearby. They are all now facing felony charges, including conspiracy to commit robbery. Police say the man who was shot is in stable condition.
The Fort Myers Police Department also looking to change the name of a street to honor Officer Adam Jobbers Miller, who died in 2018 while on a call. The police department wants a nearly half-mile stretch of road that is Flint Street to be dedicated in the officer's memory. The police department says this move is both for fellow officers and also Officer Jobbers Miller's family to see his work and his ultimate sacrifice on the job honored.
Well, in Naples, a memorial service is being held for 3 of the Texas mall mass shooting victims. Q Cho is actually an alum of Collier County's Ave Maria School of Law. Cho, the father, as you see here, was killed on Saturday along with his wife Cindy and their 3-year-old son James. Now, their 6-year-old son William, who was not seen in that picture, actually you see him right here, is now the only surviving member. He is still recovering after being released from the hospital. Now, next Wednesday, Ave Maria is also dedicating its Mass in honor of the Cho family. That Mass beginning at 11 o'clock, 11:30, when the school says all are welcome.
As the COVID-19 public health emergency officially ends, that also happens with some of the restrictions ending that came along with it. Steps like vaccine mandates for international travelers.
The Fox 4's Colton Chavez is speaking to Collier County tourism leaders about what this could mean for our tourism.
For more than 3 years, some unvaccinated international travelers have waited to hear the soft sounds of Collier County's Gulf Coast.
Right now, our international visitation is about 13%. Compared to what it was previously, which was 20%.
The number of pre-pandemic Collier County travelers dropping around 7% over the past 3 years, according to Paul Behrens, the executive director for the Naples Marco Island Everglades Convention and Visitors Bureau.
I want to put that in perspective. You look at UK and Germany, that was about 309,000 annual visitors. Last year, we only had 56,000.
Numbers that Behrens says he hopes will go up. Starting May 12th, international visitors will no longer be required to have a COVID vaccine to enter the country. A time that Behrens says Collier County will continue to focus on bringing in off-season visitors from places like Canada.
But we are actually marketing with that mindset of you love Florida, you love it in the winter, it is just as good and valuable in the summer.
Using the beach, even after Ian, as a draw to bring people in.
If you haven't been to the beach, you will be blown away.
So naturally, we had to come to the Naples Pier just to ask people if they have any concerns around COVID-19.
I maybe had a few seconds of a little bit of panic.
Not one bit. Never have been, to be honest with you.
I'm fully vaccinated, and I have been for a couple of years now, but I think just
stay safe, be careful.
And whether people on the beach received the vaccine or not.
I mean, I feel like in a way it can be celebrated that like everyone's finally able to like go about their lives normally.
I think it's going back to how it was before.
I have a few friends that have family from out of the country who they haven't seen in years.
With all of that unpacked, looking to the future, I think we're cautiously optimistic.
Governor Ron DeSantis also signing a series of health care bills into law today, and that includes a measure that would protect people from discrimination based on health care choices like not getting a COVID vaccine, not wearing a mask, or not getting tested. It would also ban businesses from requiring proof of vaccination for customers or employees.
Well, there is now a legal battle over a $500 million project in Hendry County that will have impact on our waterways that got put on hold after that lead contractor was fired from the job. This is the C-43 Reservoir project, and it's meant to protect the Caloosahatchee River and estuary from toxic algae blooms. Now, the South Florida Water Management District says they fired the construction company tasked with this project because crews were 3 years behind schedule, they say. Now that company has filed a lawsuit against the water district, claiming they were wrongfully terminated, and argued that it was the district that slowed things down and making numerous design changes.
The contractor did not stay on schedule, nor would they make the changes to get back on schedule or even prevent further delays.
The company is refuting that in a statement sent to Fox 4 that reads in part, rather than work with WMB in good faith and fair to take care of these problems, the district wrongfully blamed WMB and then terminated the contract, despite having complimented WMB's intense efforts to successfully complete the project.
Now, the latest tension between Governor Ron DeSantis and Disney. Now it's the Disney CEO with some things to say, talking yesterday on an investor call. Bob Iger defended Disney as the state of Florida is trying to put limits on Disney's powers and methods of doing business. Iger said the state is treating Disney unfairly and asked the room, quote, does the state want us to invest more, employ more people, and pay more taxes or not? Iger did not mention DeSantis by name, as the two sides are in the midst of legal action that started a year ago when Disney publicly opposed the parental rights and education bill that would later pass the Florida legislature.
Well, Florida schools will soon be required to teach Asian American and Pacific Islander history. This coming during AAPI month. It's a bipartisan measure, part of a broad education curriculum bill signed this week by Governor DeSantis. Now, the bill says lessons must include Japanese internment camps and the incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II. They also must include civil rights and culture and contribution of Asian Americans. Other states also require AAPI history to include Illinois and New Jersey.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement says there's now a database where sexual assault survivors can track the status of a rape kit. The launch of FL Track Kits comes more than 2 months ahead of schedule. The tracking system allows survivors to monitor the location and the processing of a kit and also get notifications if there is a DNA match to a perpetrator. This tracking system builds upon other state requirements like a 120-day mandatory turnaround time for testing to eliminate any backlogs.
Well, Lakeland police say a 13-year-old shot and injured an officer yesterday after the officer chased a vehicle believed to be involved in a shooting that was reported earlier. Now, police say when that chase ended, 3 teenage suspects got out of the vehicle and ran away. This is new video tonight here on Fox 4 News at 10. They say Officer Jamie Smith was shot in the foot while chasing an armed teen. Smith returned fire, and that 13-year-old was then hit several times. Officers treated the suspect at the scene before being rushed to the hospital. Officer Smith was also taken to the hospital for treatment. Police say all 3 suspects were on probation, and they believe they were affiliated with a gang.
Even all these months, you're probably watching us right now from a couch, maybe a bed, somewhere comfortable. But there's one mission out there right now in Fort Myers that's very simple to ensure every child has a bed to sleep in after Hurricane Ian.
And it's not so easy for some families out there. Keller Williams, Fort Myers, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace is on a mission to make sure that children in our community who were impacted by Hurricane Ian are taken care of.
All over the nation, Sleep in Heavenly Peace has made sure that they are helping the children, the young people, get a good, healthy night's sleep. Today's event, though, held 8 to 4 at the Fort Myers Community Church off of Cypress Lake. And volunteers this morning were happy to spend their time, give their efforts, really give their love to help the process of getting people in Fort Myers back to just a livable living situation.
And we're just super excited to be a part of their mission to kind of bring that here in Southwest Florida and ensure that no child in our town sleeps on the floor.
So 100 beds were built, as you see here. They will be given out right here in Lee County on Saturday.
Inflation may be slowing, but the price of many goods is still high. But even so, experts say Mother's Day spending expected to reach a record high.
Yeah, coming up, what people are spending the most on this year to treat their mom. And I know a mom who wants to be treated is certified meteorologist Katie Walls.
Hopefully.
Or should be treated, I should say.
Thank you. But speaking of those records, how about those records today? Both Fort Myers and Naples setting new records. Punta Gorda, we were close. Tomorrow, not quite there, but we'll talk more about the heat and humidity, followed by more storms developing right in time for Mother's Day.
We've all been watching the inflation numbers for 2 years now, and April's slight year-to-year drop to 4.9% was encouraging for some. But this number does not represent what is more expensive right now. So when you're at the grocery store in the baking aisle, margarine's up 24% year-to-year. And you probably see this when you buy a jug of vegetable oil. Also, we've seen the prices of new cars, used cars going up for years. But to fix your car, that's up 20% year-to-year as well, too. For your younger parents out there, daycare preschool up 7%. You're definitely seeing that. That's the largest year-to-year increase on record as there's more demand out there for daycare slots as more workers are going back to the office. But some items are down overall. Groceries still down slightly. Also, gas is down 12% from a year ago. Remember the days a year ago? $4.30, $4.40 a gallon was common in Southwest Florida.
And despite that inflation, you don't want to cheap out on Mother's Day. Your mother deserves it. We're talking from flowers to brunches. Families all over Southwest Florida will find different ways, though, to celebrate the important women in their lives this weekend. And experts anticipate it really is going to be a record high for spending this Mother's Day.
I'm trying to find a house in Southwest Florida for my mom.
There
I'll
you
be
go.
spending the most. Mary O'Connell with our script station WFTS in Tampa takes a look at the ways that people are really treating their moms despite the higher prices.
Many people will tell you it's important to celebrate moms every day. Just ask Chelsea Ramos.
They carry us for 9 months and, they love us so very much.
So making sure Mother's Day is extra special is a top priority.
We're going to go to the beach, spend some time at the Hurricane, watch the sunset, and spend all day with her.
The National Retail Federation says consumers plan to spend a total of $35.7 billion on Mother's Day this year. That's nearly $4 billion more than last year's record high, according to an annual survey.
The National Retail Federation predicts the most popular gifts to give are greeting cards, special outings, and of course, flowers.
We've been taking orders since last month.
Sharon Smith is the owner of the Potting Shed in Tampa. They've been in business 48 years.
This year it's all about peonies, and we have tons of them.
Inflation still impacting families as they balance their spending. Smith tells me flowers are a lot more expensive these days.
It's a dilemma because people say, "What, Sharon?" I said, "I know. When's the last time you filled your tank up? When's the last time you went to the grocery store?" And flowers have also increased, but we're trying to keep as low as we can and still make it beautiful.
The National Retail Federation says rather than passing on gift giving altogether, people seeing those higher prices have become more value driven and are taking advantage of sales and promotions. They're even cutting back in other areas to make sure mom still has her special day.
I feel like people want to go above and beyond for their moms. They want to show that extra appreciation, and I think they deserve it.
Proving that showering mom with extra love is priceless.
I would have to agree. But look, if you are trying to save some money, moms are just going to want to spend time with you, so you can take them anywhere. Here, Sunsplash Water Park is actually offering free admission to moms this weekend. So the park is also offering a Hawaiian-themed gift to all moms. Sunsplash will be open from 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission is only valid at the gate.
The long-awaited reopening of Bowditch Point Park at Fort Myers Beach will not be this month. Lee County has been targeting a May reopening of the park for months. It's, of course, at the northernmost point of Estero Island. But today, county leaders telling Fox 4 Bowditch will not be open for this month. There's also not a date yet set to open it back up. The Skyfox drone video, though, from mid-February shows just how the park at the time is being used for sand and debris storage. Also a boat there off in the distance. Bowditch, of course, one of the most well-known places to park. As drivers who've got that county park parking sticker, you can park at Bowditch for free for when it does reopen. It's a nice little hint for you. And the city of Cape Coral says the debris hauler it hired has finished removing the Ian-related debris in all of these saltwater canals. And with the lingering 10% from the freshwater canals still in there to be all picked up by the end of June. So far, more than 700,000 cubic yards of debris is out of the canals of Cape. City leaders say most of the debris is out, but they could have some wind, which could cause some of the other debris and trash to get into the waterways. If it does, call 311 or contact the city to report any lingering debris. I'll bring in Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls in this stretch with extremely hot weather, waiting for it to taper back eventually.
And it does look like it will be here in the next couple of days. Today's 95 degrees, obviously not typical, as it did set a record in Fort Myers. Naples set a new record of 93. Punta Gorda, we hit a high of 94, not quite in record territory, but typically this time of year we should be closer to 89, and it does look like over the weekend we'll be dropping back closer to 90, at least a step closer to average. Live look outside right now from atop the Bayfront Inn. Overall, downtown Naples off to a nice quiet start this evening. Of course, it is on the humid side after hitting that new record temperature there. Tomorrow, we will be close to records. We're going to be closer to records heading into tomorrow versus closer to that average. But then over the weekend is when we'll kind of normalize those temperatures. Right now, we're at 83 degrees in Fort Myers. Factor in that dew point. It's feeling more like 85. So even at this hour, as we near 11 o'clock, still feeling that hot and sticky. These are temperatures more typical of June. We currently have a dissolving cold front right over us. Other than a spotty sprinkle overnight, I'm expecting nice quiet weather. The showers and storms that did develop today were farther off toward our north, but tomorrow all of us will see a better opportunity. So let's take a closer look. Tomorrow morning, partly to mostly cloudy skies are expected. Sunshine right here around lunchtime, but then for the afternoon, basically from 2 o'clock onward, have that rain gear close. That's when those scattered showers and storms will be developing with the heating of the day, and they'll continue throughout the evening drive. There will be some hiccups, of course. There will be some slowdowns wherever those heavy downpours and lightning do set up. So just keep that in mind for your Friday evening commute and for any outdoor plans you might have heading toward 8 to 9 o'clock. But those storms will be fizzling out shortly after sunset, which is right around 8:05. Looking ahead to your Saturday, a similar setup. Nice quiet start, lots of sunshine. If you do want to get outside and take advantage of the day, do so in the morning. You won't have to deal with the heat, and also you won't have to face the potential for those storms because, again, after 2 p.m., those storms will begin to fire up and continue on and off throughout the afternoon and evening. It's not going to be a washout, but just something that we will be contending with now, starting each and every afternoon. For tonight, we'll be dropping down towards 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies to kick off the day. A little cooler farther inland, LaBelle, Immokalee starting off around 69 degrees, along with Arcadia. Port Charlotte starting off the day around 71. Afternoon highs similar to today, running about 5 degrees above average. I'm calling for a high around 94 degrees in Fort Myers with those developing afternoon and evening scattered storms. But when you factor in the humidity, it's going to be feeling even hotter. So while temperatures themselves will be in the low to mid 90s, add another 2 to 3 degrees on top of that, and that's how hot it will actually be feeling on your skin. So in many cases, more like 96 to 97 degrees. 7-day forecast showing off afternoon and evening storms as we head into your Saturday and Mother's Day. And then over the work week, we'll see the chance for those afternoon storms again as we kick off the Monday.
Still out in Fox 4 News at 11. Will the end of the pandemic mean a boost in tourism on the beaches of Collier County? We'll take a look at what was an ideal, hot, sunny beach day.
We'll see you at Fox 4 News at 11 in just a few minutes. Well, law enforcement in Michigan reaching out to Charlotte County to arrest this gymnastics coach accused of sexually assaulting children, victims as young as 4 years old.
Live from Southwest Florida, this is Fox 4 News at 11.
And thank you for watching Fox 4 News at 11. I'm Nadine Yanis.
And I'm Chris Earl again. This story going from western Michigan to southwest Florida. It centers around this person, 49-year-old Shannon Guide, now living in Punta Gorda for his last address, but facing serious allegations and accusations from the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. Investigators in that state say that he moved out of Michigan in 2010, but he's accused of sexually assaulting 5 children ranging in age from 4 to 14 from when he was a gymnastics coach. Investigators say 2 of the children were students, and the alleged abuse happening between 2006 and 2008.
And although the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office says there are no confirmed cases of abuse here in Southwest Florida quite yet, Michigan authorities say there could be more victims out there.
We do have information to believe us he's lived in other states other than Michigan and Florida, possibly employed in similar roles at gymnastic facilities. If anyone out there would be potentially impacted by some of the trauma like this, we just ask them to come forward.
And deputies in that county in Michigan, Kent County, say Guy's lived in several states since leaving Michigan, including California, Texas, Washington, now Florida. He is awaiting extradition back to Michigan, where he's facing 13 different charges.
And we're staying in Charlotte County, where the sheriff's office says a civilian jail clerk is now facing charges for having an inappropriate relationship with an inmate. The sheriff's office says staff at the county jail noticed unusual behavior from a jail laundry clerk, Amy Dice, saying she tried to contact an inmate while dropping some laundry off. Now, deputies say staff intercepted that laundry bag and inside found a love note and candy. Dice admitted to that relationship, and she was arrested for sexual misconduct and introduction of contraband.
Fox 4 following through with an update on the Sandy wildfire still burning at Big Cypress National Preserve tonight, just north of US 41. And the fire has grown to more than 15,000 acres. It's now 30% contained. That is better than a couple of days ago. Firefighters say they've started the second phase of the evacuation plan, which means people with pre-existing conditions are encouraged to leave. They do note that one home is already evacuated. Firefighters say lightning sparked the fire nearly 2 weeks ago. They do hope to have it fully contained by next Thursday.
Yeah, and this is a fire that Fox 4 has been tracking since last week, almost every day, and now that it's threatening homes. And we know that the conditions really haven't been ideal for it. Rainy season just around the corner, and it's definitely something we're waiting for.
Yeah, and depending on where you are, if it was hot at 95 or 93, wherever you were, you certainly felt that heat. We'll bring in Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls, breaking records in some areas, but also watching to see about that smoke.
That's right. So a couple of good factors overnight tonight. Calmer winds, higher humidity. That will allow the firefighters to continue to get this blaze under control again. It's greater than 11,000 acres in the Big Cypress Preserve, but you can see that smoke blowing over 41. So that's something that we are monitoring very closely here with this particular fire. Again, just 30% contained. And as we take a closer look here at the perimeter, if you look really closely, you can actually see that red outline just to put in perspective how large that smoke actually is and how far that fire has actually burned. But note this, the relative humidities right now across Southwest Florida, they continue to go up. They always go up at night and then they come down during the day. Basically, the closer the dew point and temperature are, the higher the humidity. Then once they separate out, then the lower the humidity. That's why we see that during the afternoon. So of course we'll continue to monitor that closely, but as for those winds, thankfully they are light and manageable for now. Coming up though, we will take a look at the potential for some thunderstorms. It's a good thing to have some rainfall there, but some gusty winds, not so great. We'll dive deeper into that timeline next.
All right, turning now to traffic. We know that there is a lot of it, especially in season, and with so much growth in our area, many roads can be packed. In particular, Lee County leaders are looking at Alico Road and looking for solutions, Chris.
And even east of 75 as well. Lee County is trying to solve this because they're looking to add lanes on one stretch of Alico Road to get down here to Green Meadow, because right now you can take Green Meadow, it's just a 2-lane road, and you can get up to State Road 72 in Sunshine up in Lehigh Acres. You're going south and east of RSW for the airport, but the infrastructure can't really handle this. These are tough turns to make, so they're going to look to try to find a way over the next few years, 5, 6 years. We might all be driving different cars by that point, where the road would be 4 lanes going up through this way and then hooking right into Sunshine. Fox 4's Brianna Brownlee explains how this whole project, $100 million plus, could help people get from I-75 to Lehigh Acres easier and safer.
Yes, as Lee County continues to grow, this stretch of road seems like it cannot keep up. Now, we are along Alico Road, which isn't too far from the intersection of Airport Hall Road, just south of the airport. Now, this area is the start of Phase 1, which will widen the roads, taking it from 2 lanes to 4. When I was speaking with the county today, they were explaining to me how they hope this is not only an easier commute, but it will make it safer. A well-known backway taking drivers from a highway to Lehigh with frequent tight traffic, as Alico Road is another place where cars and trucks get tied up.
I mean, there's not much you can do about the traffic that's going up and down Alico.
Robert Fickelson lives nearby and drives this stretch all the time, which means watching out for other cars all the time.
We're hoping to get some relief to some of the congestion throughout the county and provide a quicker way for people to get to the interstate and to get to the south.
The county plans to do this with the Alico Road Connector Study Project, 3 phases to build up Green Meadow Road all the way to Sunshine Boulevard in the heart of Lehigh Acres.
Traffic conditions throughout the county are obviously going up. There's been a lot of development that's happening.
And Phase 1 starts here, along Alico Road at Airport Hall Road, going east to Green Meadow, and should be done by late 2026, so more than 3 years.
Daniels Parkway is a congested roadway that this project will provide direct relief 2.
Big development in Lee County and Alico Road is major thoroughfares.
Phase 2 will take Metal Road up to State Road 82, but that's still many years off.
This is going to provide an alternate route for all the homes that are being built in Lehigh Acres to get south and get to I-75. So it's a very important traffic artery.
Now we have a long ways to go until this project is complete. The county is expecting for phase 1 to be complete at the end of 2026. As for the whole project, not till 2028. Now, if you need a full breakdown of this project, make sure you head over to fox4now.com. In Lee County, Brianna Brownlee, Fox 4.
Fox 4 also tracking this, a power outage in southwest Cape Coral at this hour, as we see about 1,100 customers with LCEC without power right now. That's just more than 3% of customers in the area. But the estimated time for these 1,100 to be back on for power about 2:15 a.m., so still about 3 more hours. It's not clear what caused the outage. We have reached out to LCEC for answers on this. As Title 42 ends in less than an hour at midnight, we're also seeing a surge at the U.S.-Mexico border. The pandemic-era policy allowed federal officials to expel migrants quickly. And although that is going away, the Biden administration is launching a new deportation program. Family Expedited Removal Management is what it's called. It's designed to be a different type of detention. This will track migrant families in the U.S. while they go through a quicker deportation process. According to multiple sources familiar with the plan, families must stay under home confinement as long as they're in the U.S. The head of the household must wear an ankle monitor. They can still claim asylum and go through the process if they qualify. But federal officials say with 10,000 migrants expected at the U.S.-Mexico border each day, there needs to be permanent change. And that's also a viewpoint many leaders along the border seem to agree with.
The fundamental reason why we have a challenge at our border, and we've had this challenge many a time before, is because we are working within the constraints of a fundamentally broken immigration system.
We all know that the immigration process is broken and it needs to be fixed. There is no end game. In a community like El Paso or anywhere in the Rio Grande Valley,
the Republican majority U.S. House passed a sweeping border security bill today, though, 219-213 along party lines. And this would restart the construction of the border wall, more money for border agents, and also new restrictions for people seeking asylum. The bill is not expected to pass a 50-50 Senate, though, and President Biden has already threatened to veto it.
Now, Fox 4 is going in depth, following through for you on the impacts that the immigration changes, both at federal and state levels, will have on undocumented families right here in Southwest Florida. Tonight, I spoke with the president of the Haitian American Community Coalition of Southwest Florida. Her name's Beatrice Jaquette Castor, and she says right now there are about 25,000 Haitians in Southwest Florida. And that number, she says, is expected to grow as Title 42 could be lifted within the hour. And as many, she says, are leaving Haiti, filled with fraud, political turmoil, and violence, and coming here now under Biden's humanitarian grant program. This allows for easier processing for those who are coming from countries like Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela.
We are expecting that a large crowd is going to be out because it's just not safe in Haiti. And right now, we also have a lot of people that have come in under the Biden program, which is the humanitarian parole program. So that have integrated in Southwest Florida as well. So we do have a lot of immigrants that will be at the event, especially the new people that just came under the Biden program, which is called the humanitarian parole program.
So that event that Jaquette Castor just mentioned is to celebrate Haitian Heritage Month and for the Haitian community right here in Southwest Florida. That's happening on Saturday from 11 p.m. at the Rock Church of Fort Myers. There'll be food, celebrations, even health screenings for those within the Haitian community, migrant or not, to get basic health care.
A jury is now in place and seated in the trial of the man accused of killing 2 people 33 years ago, a Cape Coral babysitter and also an 11-year-old girl. Now opening statements for Joseph Zeiler's murder trial will start on Tuesday.
Yeah, this is a case a long time coming, but Fox 4's Caitlin Knapp explains why the jury selection process in this case took some time.
This case is expected to last about 2 to 3 weeks, and when it's time to decide if Zeiler is guilty or not guilty, that could happen on a Friday. But if it doesn't happen on a Friday and goes past that, the court may decide to bring in the jury back on a Saturday, something you don't see very often.
Is that the panel you are selecting in consultation with your attorneys? Yes.
One of very few words spoken on Thursday by Zeiler, the man accused of killing 32-year-old Lisa Story and 11-year-old Robin Cornell. In court on Thursday, Zeiler faced now 12 jurors who will listen to 2 to 3 weeks of witnesses and experts. Once that's done, they will decide his fate. And if they can't in one day, they will be separated overnight. But because this could go into a weekend, there's a chance the court will bring them in on a Saturday to continue deliberations, though that's not set in stone. What is, however, opening statements starting on Tuesday morning. One defense attorney for Zeiler says that he may choose to take the stand and testify, which is his constitutional right. Again, opening statements do start on Tuesday morning, and Fox 4 will bring you the latest from inside the Lee County Courthouse. But for now, reporting inside the Lee County Courthouse, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
And Fox 4 is also following through for you on new details after a tow truck crashed into this home on Southwest Chiquita Boulevard in Cape Coral yesterday. The driver of that truck now telling us he's out of the hospital, recovering at home. He says he had a seizure while driving and lost control. He also told us he has been in contact with the homeowners who are now displaced as a result of this.
Fort Myers High School also went under brief lockdown this morning after finding evidence of a break-in to the school's science wing. District leaders say the alarm system was not activated last night, so out of caution, the school went into lockdown to ensure there was not a suspect in the building any longer. Officials say the building is safe and at no time were students ever in danger.
Also, Fort Myers police say they now have these 4 people in custody following a shooting that injured one man near Edison Avenue and Paldo Street yesterday. Police say they found Ashanti Powell, Thomas Clark, Anthony Abrams, and Antoine Howard at a home nearby. They're all now facing felony charges, including conspiracy to commit robbery. And police say the man who was shot is in stable condition tonight, but this did hold up traffic for a while. Katie.
And today, record-setting temperatures here across Southwest Florida. In Fort Myers, we tie that record of 95 degrees. Naples, we set a new record of 93. Punta Gorda, we hit a high of 94. Not quite hitting that record of 97, but looking ahead to tomorrow, we're going to be closer to records than that average of 89. So we'll talk more about how long this heat will stick around. Plus, we're pinpointing more showers and storms that will be arriving each and every afternoon starting tomorrow.
Live from Southwest Florida, this is Fox 4 News at 11.
As the COVID-19 public health emergency officially ends, so are some of the restrictions that came along with it, like vaccine mandates for international travelers.
Yeah, so Fox 4's Colton Chavez is speaking to Collier County industry leaders about what this could mean for tourism.
For more than 3 years, some unvaccinated international travelers have waited to hear the soft sounds of Collier County's Gulf Coast.
Right now, our international visitation is about 13%. Compared to what it was previously, which is 20%.
The number of pre-pandemic Collier County travelers dropping around 7% over the past 3 years, according to Paul Behrens, the executive director for the Naples, Marco Island, Everglades Convention and Visitors Bureau.
I want to put that in perspective. You look at UK and Germany, that was about 309,000 annual visitors. Last year, we only had 56,000.
Numbers that Behrens says he hopes will go up. Starting May 12th, international visitors will no longer be required to have a COVID vaccine to enter the country. A time that Behrens says Collier County will continue to focus on bringing in off-season visitors from places like Canada.
But we are actually marketing with that mindset of you love Florida, you love it in the winter, it is just as good and valuable in the summer.
Using the beach, even after Ian, as a draw to bring people in.
If you haven't been to the beach, you will be blown away.
So naturally, we had to come to the Naples Pier just to ask people if they have any concerns around COVID-19.
I maybe had a few seconds of a little bit of panic.
Not one bit. Never have been, to be honest with you.
I'm fully vaccinated, and I have been for a couple years now, but I think just stay safe, be careful.
And whether people on the beach received the vaccine or not.
I mean, I feel like in a way it can be celebrated that like everyone's finally able to like go about their lives normally.
I think it's going back to how it was before.
I have a few friends that have family from out of the country who they haven't seen in years.
With all of that unpacked, looking to the future, I think we're cautiously optimistic.
Governor Ron DeSantis also signing a series of health care bills into law today, and these include a measure that would protect people from discrimination based on their health care choices, such as not getting a COVID vaccine, not wearing a mask, or not getting tested. It would also ban businesses from requiring proof of vaccination for customers or employees.
Well, there is now a legal battle over a $500 million project in Hendry County that would impact our waterways that got put on hold after the lead contractor was fired. We're talking about the C-43 Reservoir project. It's meant to protect the Caloosahatchee River and estuary from toxic algae blooms. The South Florida Water Management District says they fired the construction company tasked with the project because crews were 3 years behind schedule, they say. But now that company has filed a lawsuit against the Water District, claiming they were wrongfully terminated and arguing it was the district that slowed things down by making several different design changes.
The contractor did not stay on schedule, nor would they make the changes to get back on schedule or even prevent further delays.
Now, the company is refuting that in a statement sent to Fox 4 that reads, rather than work with the Wastewater Management District in good faith and fair dealing to take care of these problems, the district wrongfully blamed WMB and then terminated the contract, despite having complimented WMB's immense efforts to successfully complete that project.
And now, as we think about what the heat has been like, it's August football practice hot.
Yes.
That's how I would describe it. And there's plenty of ways to describe it.
Yeah, and that is very true, but unfortunately, we're not in August. We're in May. It's supposed to be spring, early summer, as we bring in certified meteorologist Katie Walls, and you already have, it's hot out there.
I have a fun fact for you that I haven't told you yet.
Oh, I love fun facts.
95 degrees today in Fort Myers.
Yes.
It's the hottest day so far in 2023.
In all of 2023.
So far.
Which has already been above average.
Back to September 23rd, Nadine. That was the last time we hit 95. I know, 7.5 months. So it really goes to show that temperatures this hot, definitely not normal this early in the year. Take a look at this. Punta Gorda hitting a high of 94 degrees. Naples set a new record of 93. And in Fort Myers, we tied that record of 95 set back in 2012. And again, that's the hottest it has been so far. Last month, we hit 94, but we haven't hit 95 yet. Obviously, today, that changed things up. Heading out this evening, conditions are nice and quiet, but they are still on the warm side as we look live from atop the Fox 4 studios here in Cape Coral, right along Pine Island Road. Overall, conditions this evening on the quiet side. Tomorrow morning, quiet, but then tomorrow afternoon, that's when those storm chances will start to go up. It's to be expected when you have this kind of heat and humidity, you'll start to see those showers and storms begin to develop. Now let's take a look at our calendar. So for today, we were 5 degrees above average between the morning low and the afternoon high. So today, definitely, like I said, not just the hottest day in May, but also the hottest day so far this year, going all the way back to September. So far this month, we've had 8 days above average, 2 below, but just barely. And then May 1st was basically spot on. So heading into tomorrow, similar to today, we will be pushing into the mid-90s. That said, tomorrow's record in Fort Myers will likely stand at 97. And then we'll stay in the lower 90s, right around that average, close to the normal, but not quite there as we head through the weekend into the start of next week. So the latest weather satellite, the satellite radar composite, you get the gist. We have this front coming in and it's kind of fizzling out right on top of us. So other than a passing sprinkle tonight, that's about it. Most of the activity today really focused on central and northern Florida. Heading into tomorrow morning is going to be a dry but